Everybody, it's Hoodie Pap 22 coming at you again with another video. Hope you guys like this one. One thing I want to explain is when you're doing your user CPU sliders, before you start building out your sliders, you have options over here to choose from. You have rookie, recommended for players who are new to NBA 2K, so that's going to be the easiest, pretty much not much competition from the computer. You have semi-pro, some previous NBA 2K experience, familiar with basic controls, so it's going to be, very easy, but slightly more competitive than rookie. Then you have Pro, which is traditional default NBA 2K experience, presents slight challenge. So it's going to be pretty much like a base semi-pro, but slightly harder than semi-pro, which is harder than rookie. Then you have All-Star, veteran NBA 2K players looking for an elevated challenge. So All-Star is going to be a little more competitive, not much, especially if you're an experienced gamer. Serious NBA 2K player with years of experience and a deep understanding of the game. Would be superstar, gonna be very competitive, gonna be kind of hard. But Hall of Fame is for those who are ultimate challenge, players looking for the ultimate challenge and skill-based competitive play. All right, so before you build out your CPU user sliders, before you build out your sliders, one thing I ran into was when playing the gameplay, it doesn't matter if you tweak these over here. Um, like, of course, if you turn it all the way up, it's going to be unrealistic. But um, you want to focus more on your gameplay. So someone told me, like, you could either build out your roster with Pro or All Star, and you can up the computer competitive on the sliders. But if you build it out of Pro and All Star, it will help with your shooting because the game is built in with Hall of Fame. You're gonna have small green windows. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I was wondering why we couldn't hit as many limitless range, even with the badge. We couldn't hit as many limitless range. We were missing a lot of limitless range, even with the badges. Like, even with Steph Curry on 99, you got prime Steph Curry from the Curry era. You got the limitless range all the way up on legend. You're still gonna miss a lot of limitless range, and it's because the way that 2K has built the system is really for my park or for Rick. Mostly everything is built around my park. Um, so you don't want to play on Hall of Fame because a lot of your spin jumpers, a lot of your hop jumpers, a lot of your limitless range and half court shots, you're gonna shoot a very low percentage, even with high rated players. And I'm talking about in game, not practicing. I'm talking about like in game. Um, I'm seeing less half court buzzer beaters. I'm seeing less deep threes by even with the computer. They're missing a lot of the limitless range threes, like the deep threes, logo threes. They're not hitting them consistent. So someone let me know, like, hey, if you build your sliders around Pro or All Star, that it will help you to be able to hit a lot of those signature shots. And people's like, I'm not gonna do this around Pro or All Star because it's not gonna be competitive. Well, that's why you need to edit your sliders so that the computer is competitive on Pro and All Star. You're gonna go over. I got these 1090 sliders right here. We're gonna load this up. Okay, inside shot, close shot 60. I got these on 60, right? Um, layup success is on 70. Cover shot impact is on 50. Because I want it to be neutral. If I'm open, I want to be able to hit open shots. If I'm contested, I want to be able to hit a contested shot. Um, Free throw window size is 75, so you should be able to hit at least 75% of your free throws, which is more realistic because When I googled it, it said the NBA players are shooting at an all-time high of 78% from free throw line. So, dunking traffic frequency, you want a lot of dunks in traffic because players they do try to dunk on each other a lot in traffic. Got it on 75. Dunking traffic success 65, or you could bump it down to 60, whatever you feel. Pass accuracy up on 70. Alley oop success is on 70. Contact shot success is on 60. Ball security on 55. Body up sensitivity, I turned it down to 40 because I don't it's not realistic for players to be getting bumped and just falling all over the place all the time. If you turn it all the way up, you're pretty much it's gonna be hard for you to get past half court if somebody is guarding you because you're gonna just be bumping and falling all over the place. So I turned it down to 40. Pass speed, I got it up on 70, which is more realistic because the game is faster. Driving contact shot frequency, I got it on 65. Because I want to get a lot of contact when I'm driving in the lane. That way it can up my fouls, shooting fouls. Inside contact shot frequency, I got it down on 40 because you're not really going to get much contact shooting an inside shot, which is more like those floaters and like bank shots, pull up shots, like right there in the inside the key. Um, Layup defense strength takeoff, I took it on 40 because you're not really going to be contesting a layup as they're going up. But most players go for the block, so they're contesting it on a release. So I turned that up on 55, which will alter a lot of layups, which will make you want to do a lot more adjusting with your layups, or jelly, add more jelly to the game. Jump shot strength defense gather, I put it on 40 because as you're going up for the jump shot, you don't want much contest. You want the contest to come more on the release because players are going to be closing out. Now you may say, nah, I don't like that. I'd rather have the contest going up. But just know, if your player is about 2 or 3 feet, if the defender is about 2 or 3 feet in between you while you're going up, that's going to count against it. I mean, you're going to be wondering why it's saying contested and the player is not even close to you. So I turned it down. I want the contest to come more like when I'm releasing the ball. So when they're closing out. Help defense strength, I got mine on 45, but I got the computer up higher. So it will make the defense more competitive. Also, I turned stamina up at 70 because I'm seeing a lot of the rotations. The star players are getting tired entirely too quick. Like they have the stamina is just not realistic. So I turned it up to 70 to give the starters more minutes than the bench because you don't want to constantly be subbing because your players are like gassed. I turned hustle down to 35 because the majority of the players on the rosters are not big hustlers, especially as much anymore. You're not going to find much scrappy players. I got it on 35 so that the ones that are hustlers, it will trigger the animations, and it did work. Dunking ability, I turned it up to 60 because you want to see a lot of those posterized dunks. You want to see a lot of those flashy dunks. You want to see more dunking in the game. And you will see on CPU, I got the on ball defense up. I got defense awareness up. I got defensive consistency up, so it will be competitive. Fatigue rate, I turn it down to 45. Like I said, I want the substitutions to be more realistic. So because players, the starters and the bench should not be split in 50-50 with substitution minutes. And it took me a while to see the difference in that because I was like, wait a minute, this is not realistic, especially when I was playing certain games and I had to keep subbing out the starters because they fatigue was like all the way down on 50. Also, these are shot tendencies. The majority of the tendencies your players are going to take during the game. So inside shots is going to be more like under the basket. or like floaters or things like that. Then you got the close shot that's like pretty much going to be like your bank shots or things like that. You're not going to see much of that in this modern era. You're not going to see much of close shots. So I turned it down to 10 and I turned inside shots up to 55. I turned mid range down to 30 because you don't see many players shooting the mid range except for a select few players. And I turned the 3 point up to 65. Post shots, I turned it all the way down to 25 because you're not going to see much post shots. You're not going to see much post plays. The reason why I didn't turn it down lower than that, because the players that still shoot post fades and post step backs, I want their animations to trigger, so I put it on 25. Attack the basket is at 80. Look for post players is 20 because most of your post players are going to be around the perimeter nowadays. And the way I have my roster tendency set up, most of the bigs are around the perimeter. They're not in the post at all. They're pretty much like roaming. Throw alley oops. You want it to be up on 80. I had it on 60, but it was not triggering the animations as much. So I bumped it up on 80, and computer is throwing a lot more alley oops. Especially, I didn't tailor the sliders around my roster because you don't want to tailor the sliders around your rosters because it's gonna glitch out a lot of things. I pretty much tailor it around the 2K generic roster, official rosters. Of what the gameplay is you want to see, and then you can build in your tendencies around the sliders. You want to build your tendency around the sliders and not your sliders around the tendencies, because it's gonna glitch out a lot if you do not build based off the sliders. I personally, I like simulation gameplay, so I want it to be more simulation based out. Everything I do is for simulation. I used to be a competitive gameplay player, but the thing is with competitive gameplay, it's kind of hard when 2K is built on an arcade like system. So that's not gonna work based off of that. Now you may disagree and say, I don't know, you still can pull it off. Okay, fine. But this is basically what I prefer. Everybody has a different 2K based playstyle. Some of you like simulation, some of you like competitive, some of you like arcade like style. Some of you want to play the game realistic as if you were playing in real life, which most hoopers do that. They play the game based off of real life. So you want to go more simulation if you want to do that. Um then you have some who are just like gamers and they really don't like play it based off of real life. They just play it for like the heck of it, the fun of it, which is why they have my team in my part, so that there are different players who enjoy realism and some who enjoy the arcade. So yeah, you want alley oops at 80, you want attempt dunks at 80, you want attempt putbacks at 60. Playing passing lanes, you want it at 40. And backdoor cuts, I got it at 75. So you can hit a lot of those backdoor lobs or crashing the board. Get more offensive rebounds, because if they're cutting backdoor and you're shooting, I've noticed that me having it up higher, I'm getting more offensive rebounds. Now you could just come down here and up here and just bump up offensive rebounding, but then that would kind of favor too much offensive rebounds, and you don't want that. Now we're gonna go down to fouls. I turned over the back foul down to 2 because out of all the games I watched this year, have rarely seen an over the back foul be called. Like, that's just not a foul that they really call anymore. So I turned it down to 2. Charging foul, I got it on 25. Blocking foul, I got it on 25. I got that pretty low too as well. because I wanted to equal out. I don't want one to cancel out the other, and then you're getting more charging fouls than blocking fouls. Um, I wanted to kind of balance out. I turned reaching foul down to 30 because sometimes you want to be able to get away with those hand checks. I turned shooting foul up to 65 to kind of get the free throw attempts up, because when I was playing my NBA, I noticed that teams were averaging like 5 to 6 free throws a game, which is not realistic, especially in modern NBA. Teams are averaging anywhere from 15 to 25 free throws a game. So I did that to kind of get the free throws up. So I put it on 65 because you don't want it to be ridiculous where every play they're calling a foul. And loose ball foul, I turned it down to 5 because you're really not going to get many loose ball fouls either as well. Illegal screen, I put it on 25. This right here, your movement, controls the speed at which fast players move without the ball. Controls the speed at which slow players move without the ball. Control the rate at which fast players accelerate without the ball. Controls the rate at which slow players accelerate without the ball. So basically, movement is, it's gonna make a big difference, because if you edit your roster, um some bigs, you're gonna move their speed down to anywhere between 40 to 60. If you do your roster based on realism, you want to move a lot of your bigs down to 40 and 60, with the exception of course, Wembanyama, Giannis, um, Embiid, uh, Chet Holmgren. Like you're gonna probably put them anywhere from the 70 to 80 range of speed if you're editing them. But players like Hartenstein or let me think of some bigs that are pretty slow, like Horford at his age, Vucevic, Jokic. You want their speed to be anywhere from 40 to 60. So that way, when you're coming off a pick and roll, Jokic should not be keeping up with the John Morant coming off a pick and roll. So I got it 75 for the fast players, 48 for the slow players. 75 for the fast players acceleration, 48 for the slow players. This is going to help a lot with your transition, and it's going to help a lot with your defense, because it should be a speed parity setting in this game, because when you're coming off a pick and roll, there's no way that a big should be keeping up with Ja Morant or with Russell Westbrook or with Tyrese Maxey. You should see that parity in that game, in the game. On a fast break, Tyrese Maxey should leave Jokic behind on a fast break. Jokic should not be running foot to foot with Tyrese Maxey. Darius Garland should outrun Al Horford. LaMelo Ball should be able to outrun Domantas Sabonis. Like, it's not. Also, when you're coming in off a pick and roll, you should want to see your guards get a little bit of advantage coming out that pick and roll. Now, if you turn your help defense up, it will help with the recovery, so your guard is not just scoring anytime off of that. So I'm gonna go over to the CPU. Most of this stuff is the same. Over here, everything is pretty much the same as mine. You probably want to turn help defense strength up a little bit, but I kind of left it at 50 because you want to be able to like still have your be able to drive into the lane. Like, you don't want your drive to be completely taken away. I turned on ball defense up to 60. If you think that's too low because you're a super 2K player and you could just score at will, turn it all the way up to 80. Turn it up to 80. If you defense awareness, I got it up on 60. If that's too low for you, turn it up to 80 or 75. Defensive consistency, I got it at 60. If that is too low for you, please turn it up, because we're going to be playing on pro and all pro sliders. So if you wanted to stay competitive, you pro and all star. What am I saying? All pro. Pro and all star sliders. Um Everything is pretty much the same right here for the computer as well, except for like the defense. I turned their defense up, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video because it helps break down a lot of things. We're gonna do some slider test videos pretty soon, so y'all can see the things that I'm talking about. Right now I'm pretty much just trying to get everything caught up and get everything together. So I will be coming with the slider test videos, but if you want it, you go over here, you click search, type in my online ID, hoodiepap22, HOODIEPAP22, or you could search by content name and pull up 1090 sliders right here. I just uploaded it. It was an update, so if you want it, it's right here. I have LeBron era sliders, I have WNBA sliders, I have Kobe Jordan era sliders, and the 50s and 60s era sliders. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like the videos, get me in the algorithm. I know I'm a new YouTube channel. I'm really trying to build this thing from the ground up, but I really want to bring out the best content. And subscribe so you can get all the videos as soon as they drop. Anyways, peace.